Welcome back to In the Box. I'm Sandy Plashkis. If you haven't already, follow us on Instagram at Ownersbox and head down below to like, comment, and subscribe to let YouTube know that we are fire. Welcome back to another episode of In the Box. Today, we are joined by myself, Rocher, and a new intern here at Ownersbox, Avery. Avery, would you just introduce yourself to all our listeners and tell us, one interesting fact about your background?
Avery, obviously. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Glad to have you here.
One interesting fact, I was a shitty NCAA baseball player.
What division?
Division 2.
There we go. Hey, I played D3 football, so it's a step up for me there.
Appreciate it.
That's so this is your first day here. How have you liked your first day so far?
First day, electric day so far. A lot of fun. Getting on the platform, playing some stuff, and I've enjoyed it.
Let's go. And first day in the office, first day on the podcast, kind of a quick 0 to 100 pickup there. So we're glad to have you on. We have a great list of topics today. We're going to start with the NFL first, though. I know there's a lot of excitement around the NFL season. We're launching our product for NFL this year, so our office is fired up. One thing I just want to talk about high level. We talked about this in one of our early episodes. What do you think the NFL this year will look like from a viewership perspective? And what do you think will be different from previous years?
It's going to look like shit.
Yeah, it's not going to look good at all.
You think it's going to look... So I'm talking from what will be different, like fake noise. Like I know we talked about that. But from I think the product of football will be great still personally. I just think it's going to be weird for NFL's case because the fans are usually, the most essential part of a stadium, right? In NFL, right?
Yeah, so the home field advantage for most of the teams is going to be tough, but we'll just have to see. Some of the teams are going to have fans still, apparently. We'll have to see what that's like. But if it's going to be like it was for hockey and baseball, it's going to be a little different.
I feel like hockey, I don't know, from my perspective, I didn't watch any hockey before the bubble, really. I would watch here and there when the Leafs played, but I've watched a lot of games. I watched pretty much every playoff game, and the energy's been crazy. I thought it's been great from both the NBA and NHL's perspective. I think they've done a great job. So I personally think the NFL will be sick this year. I think the competition will still be there, but the teams playing in domes, the home field advantage is non-existent now. So I think there's a lot of teams who really play into the crowd, really rely on that to help them. So they'll definitely take a hit there. Yeah. But I think the quality of the football will be great this year, I think.
Yeah. I don't know how can they say it's fair that certain teams are allowed fans and others aren't. I don't understand how that's fair. Wouldn't certain teams be complaining we can't because of where we're located and stuff like that? Yeah,
because I know there's some places in the California, they're not putting fans in any California team stadium, not even a remote chance of it. But you've seen Jerry Jones of the world came out 2 weeks ago and he's like, we will put 15,000 fans in our stadium. That is insane to me because that's immediately an advantage because obviously it's going to be all Cowboys fans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That will play, how do they do the noise off that? Some stadiums will have to pipe in noise. If there's stadiums that have fans like the Cowboys, are they going to do noise and real fans? That's just going to be unlevel and, pretty much unfair. So I hope as a fan, as a viewer, I hope to see fans in the stadium, but I think it should be league wide. I don't think you should let in teams. You shouldn't let a few teams have fans and then others not, right?
Yeah.
I think that's just not going to work out. And I think eventually that would higher the risk of the season getting postponed or canceled, right? With everything going on.
Yeah.
So Mike McCarthy, who's the new Cowboys coach this year, said he is strongly against the use of fake crowd noise for NFL. He said he's against it, and Jerry Jones says he wants fans. So I think they're the one team really pushing. I don't know if he's in Jerry's and Mike's ear, just say you don't like fake noise so we can get some fans in here. But on offense, if you have fake noise, it screws with your play calls and stuff. Imagine being the home team. You play in New Orleans, for example. They have a dome. It's loud as hell in there. If they're on New Orleans on defense and they're piping in noise, who's not to say that they won't just blow it through the roof, right? And just screw the other team. So do you think football is the one sport where that really matters? Do you think they have there's a limit of how much you can do? What do you think they're going to do there?
Yeah, I mean, you could tell some of the MLB players, I think they've kind of slowed down the crowd noise. I think at first they had it pretty loud where you could actually see visibly some pitchers kind of being okay, what the fuck? This is kind of pissing me off.
Yeah.
And so I don't think it's going to be such loud crowd noise. I think for the TV, you'll hear it's more for the viewers to see.
Yeah,
it's not more it's not
so
for the
weird.
players.
Well, football because the guys are smacking each other out there, right? And I feel like it'd be cool to hear everything going on because in football is one of those sports where they're doing play calls at the line. You're going to hear everything, right? Yeah. So you already do hear, like when Peyton Manning did his Omaha back in the day in Denver, like there were still 60,000+ fans, and you would still hear him talking, right? So
Tom Brady just said, actually, he said they had the scrimmage, obviously, for Tampa. They piped in the crowd noise, and he said the crowd noise sounds a lot to the same crowd noise that Indianapolis used to put in during the game, which was illegal at the time.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be that different, I don't think, for some of them.
yeah, I feel like we're going to hear, especially from the quarterbacks and the more outspoken ones like Tom, like he's an absolute legend. Like the league definitely cares about what he has to say, right?
Yeah.
And he's going to be in the camp of saying like, I don't want crowd noise. Like obviously he wants it as quiet as possible.
Exactly.
And if you're having coaches speak out on it now, like saying, hey, we don't want it, like there has to be like a happy medium, because like fans watching it, like there's some fans who would love to hear everything going on, but like there's other ones who watch it and like are used to hearing fans. So I feel like there's a balance they have to come to.
Yeah, that's like the basketball. Like we thought we were going to be able to hear everything, and you don't hear
You
like
want to
anything.
pay for that shit, though.
Well,
That would be the best
I would
stuff.
love to. I mean, ultimately, you still hear like a couple F-bombs slide in. Like they do their best to like
Melo saying,
Yeah, like-
fuck out of
yeah.
here every time he grabs a board.
But like, it's just like some people love it, other people don't want to hear that stuff. So there's going to be some sort of noise, some sort of distraction away from just the players talking. Just because you've seen NBA's been the one league where you hear a couple F-bombs, like
Yeah.
people are like, yo, they got to chill out with that. But I like it personally. I just think it's going to be interesting. It's going to take some time, I think. Because like, as you said, baseball at first, there would be instances where like the guy would hit a deep fly ball and think it was a bomb, and the crowd's still cheering, like the home team crowd's
That's kind of
still
like some of the
cheering.
uneducated fans who would actually be at the game, though. You see a big pop fly and they think it's a home run every fucking time.
Yeah,
That is true. That does
it's-
happen a lot.
It happens, yeah. So I just think it's easier to pipe in crowd noise for MLB too. It's slower, right? Like you don't have as many cheering instances, but like in football, your fans are going crazy for like a first down, like every time. So like that could happen almost every play. So being the guy in the booth controlling the crowd noise, it might be one of the most stressful jobs in the NFL coming up. I could see though. Right?
Do you think it's going to look like high school football championships when they play? Like they'll play at the Dallas Stadium.
Where there's like
and there's no fans.
and they pipe.
Yeah.
Do they pipe in for that?
Hell, no
way.
It just
Are you
looks
saying
like
it will just sound like that?
like
where
it'll
there's
look
no-
like that. Like it's gonna look like a completely empty stadium.
Yeah,
with
because
them
in the high
playing.
school games, you see like there's one section of like the couple thousand students, and then just like 40,000 seats.
They only put you on one
untouched.
side of the stadium, too. They don't let you go on both.
So I think it will be a little. I think that's a good comparison, honestly, because they're not gonna. NFL will be the one league to not pipe in noise. They'll get so much shit from the players and teams. So I think it will be a lot quieter than we think going forward. But looking at the scheduling and how they're doing everything with preseason, with no games happening, how do we think that affects the first week? Because you got teams like Tampa Bay who looks completely different. They got Brady, they got all these new receivers, they got Gronk, pretty much a whole different team. Like, how do you even predict how these teams are going to do in week one? Like, I saw this morning, Tampa Bay was plus 3.5 against the Saints in week one. I kind of love Tampa Bay in that spot, but like, it's way too early to tell. There's no real, like, you don't know anything for sure, right? So I think that plays into it. But what do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I think week one's going to be like really sloppy football. I think that's what's going to happen, and people are going to be a little rusty, or like it's just not going to be like not going to be great football.
Yeah,
that's what I think it's going to be like.
I gotta disagree with you on that.
You think it's going to be like?
I think it'll be they're still the best of the best players. You think about preseason, the most they're going to play in one game is they play like
series,
they play a
like
half basically. So I think then it won't be that bad. They're still the best of the best.
Yeah,
maybe first quarter maybe a little sloppy, but after that.
And I think it's teams like younger teams will have the most trouble at first, at least.
Jitters
You'll
and
see
shit
like
from the
there'll be the first few series like, whoa, this is like definitely rusty. Like you can tell something's different.
Like Joe
but,
Burrow dropping back. He's gonna
oh my God!
little
Speaking
bit
of Burrow, like that guy, that's a great example. His first game is going to be live. Like he's not going to get to fuck around, like throw some picks in preseason. Like,
yeah, he's playing the Bengals defense every day.
The Bengals. Who do they play week one? Because he's going to go into. I'm looking it up right now, but he's going to have to go in and just go right in the game. Like he's going to be thrown into the fire as like a first round. They play the Chargers, who are an insanely good team this year. Like they're looking pretty good in that division. So looking at the rookies, like I'm not going in my fantasy leagues. I have not been drafting a ton of rookies just because like there's so much uncertainty with how much playing time they're going to get. Like usually through like 3 or 4 preseason games, you can see how many like reps these rookies are getting, right? And you'll have at least a decent idea of where you're going to pick them in fantasy or like how you're going to bet the games. But you get none of that this year.
Yeah.
So it's really going to be, it's really building the hype. Like obviously the week one's going to be crazy viewership, but it's going to be different with all these players not getting any reps before that, right?
Yeah.
Because like in scrimmages, like Tom Brady's not getting hit in those scrimmages, right?
No,
like
you're wearing the red jersey. No one fucking touched that guy.
so like it's going to be interesting to see, and we'll see a lot of different teams out there this year. And week one's going to be sick. We're only 2 weeks away now.
Wow,
it's crazy. But the funniest thing I was reading yesterday is about these new COVID rules for the NFL. Have you read?
No.
So they're saying NFL players can be fined up to $50,000 if they break a certain set of rules. So one of the rules is $50,000 for refusing testing, which I don't think we'll see a lot of. $15,000 for not wearing a mask anytime you're near the team or in the team scenario. You can be fined for doing any quote unquote high risk activity, such as going to a bar, attending a concert, party, or nightclub. That's the one thing where I'm laughing because that's $50,000. If they catch you outside of the team premises, literally doing any of that, at a bar, drinking, doing any of that, I think a gathering over 15 people, the team can suspend you and fine you. So do we think after the Lou Will thing with the strip club, after all this shit we've seen with the NBA, there's been a couple instances, the DoorDash thing, do we think that for 16 weeks, these NFL players, because remember, these rosters are bigger in the NFL than they are in the NBA, do we think we see a lot of instances of off-field penalty?
I mean, I think we'll see like obviously like a couple scenarios, but I can't see like we have to catch them in the act. So someone has to make a dumb decision.
But it's like social media right now. Like everyone's going to get caught. If you see any NFL player doing anything, you're probably going to take a picture or video and post it somewhere. Like that's just how people are. So I don't know. After seeing that Lou Will thing, that thing blew like wildfire.
Yeah,
like that was the fucking story of the week that week. So, and it's over a 16-week season. Not how long have they been in the bubble? Under 2 months still, right? So a full season of all that. Like they're not in the bubble, so I guess they get to spend time with family. They're not as concentrated in this one environment. So maybe that will contribute to it a bit. But I still think we see some interesting because there's some characters. People are going to party. They're going to do their shit.
They're not getting suspended for games, and the guys who are making all the money, they'd be like, oh, $50K, what's that to me? And just go out.
I know that is true. It doesn't seem like that's a very harsh penalty.
$50K?
Yeah, but the guy's making millions.
Like Patrick Mahomes, if he goes out for a night, he just wants to have a good time.
But I don't know for sure if they're going to do suspensions incorporated. I think if it's bad enough, they will. Like if it's like a strip club or something stupid you absolutely shouldn't be doing. Like I could see them being, taking some games there. But still, like I don't even think a guy like Patrick Mahomes would even risk it. Like,
no, I think it's the 50, 51st, 52nd man on the roster that are going to be, they're going out.
Like I'm 23, like we're younger guys. There's some fucking 20-year-olds in the league, 21-year-olds. Like these guys, you don't think these guys want to go party? Like they're kids. Like they're going to want to do their shit. So I think we'll definitely see some instances. I haven't read of any yet. I know it hasn't even started yet, and training camp just really kicked into gear. But looking at it from this perspective, what we've seen over the past with the other leagues, I think we see some altercations at the least there. But looking forward the NFL season, I'm so fired up, man. I cannot wait. I'm in like 8 leagues on Ownersbox already. I've drafted 8 teams, just thirsting for week 1. So cannot wait for NFL. Let's dive into the NBA because I want to talk about a few series. The first being the Raptors versus Celtics. Last episode on the podcast, I told everyone about my Raptors series bet that I took. They were minus 120 to win the series. They're now at plus 155 to win the series after losing game 1. Did you guys watch the game, by the way, last night?
No.
Did you not? No. I watched pretty much the whole thing until the end. It was pretty much a blowout at that point. I was surprised. Like, are you guys Raptors fans? Are you guys diehards?
Yeah, Raptors. No,
not diehard.
We didn't see the game. So
yeah,
we can't
so
say we're
on the
diehard.
course. We're big fans. You were on the course.
We were on the
golfing.
golfing.
You were on the course shooting like what, 110, 115? What'd you shoot?
118.
What'd you shoot?
I was 95.
Oh shit. Okay, so off topic, but I got my new partner for the next invitational here. That's about 35 strokes better than Devin shot when we played in our first invitational. So. But as I was saying, are you guys shocked by the Raptors losing game 1 by a substantial margin?
They only won their first game 1 of a series, the series before. So it's not really panic mode yet. I think if they lose game 2, maybe a little bit. But for right now, I'm not too worried.
Yeah, people are panicking because they played they got destroyed in the season, right? They lost.
Yeah, the 4. Celtics beat them. They lost. They've played 4 times, I think, or 3 or 4 times. They lost. Did they lose every game?
I think every game.
Or they might have won 1-3, 1-3. Yeah.
But and then you lose the first game, and then people start panicking. I think it's going to be a close series. But.
So one of our buddies, Andrew, who works with us, he is the biggest Celtics fan ever, and he was in my inbox, he's like, "Do not take that bet. Do not take the Raptors series. They're not going to win." And I'm like, "Dude, you're crazy. Like the Raptors are manhandling teams, and the Celtics were hot too. Like they easily handled. Yeah. Who did they play against? Sixers. They were down people, but still." Going into the game, I thought the Raptors were going to take it. I didn't bet the game because I already had that series bet, but I'm concerned. I don't watch enough of the Raptors to be like super concerned, but I think it's definitely something to look out for. They did lose. The Raptors lost to the Magic last year, remember, in game 1, and they ended up just winning the next 4. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they bounce back. But the Celtics were shooting like crazy from three, which is a bad sign because the Raptors with OG, with Siakam, like they're a defensive team, right?
Yeah.
And like, remember the Lakers game? Remember that I got roasted for that game? Like they beat us so badly. The Raptors shot 25% from three. That's exactly what the Lakers did against them, and they got blown out. So it's going to be a tell-all right now, seeing how they bounce back from shooting. But I just don't think the Celtics will be able to keep that high-paced three-point percentage, right? I just with the perimeter defense of everything with the Raptors, I just do not see it. But it's going to be interesting because the Celtics actually out-rebounded the Raptors last night too, and they're way smaller. So it's like a lot. They just got flat out outplayed. So I think that's
they got some dogs at guard though. Marcus Smart.
That's
Jalen.
it. Marcus Smart was guarding Siakam. Like he was
Yeah.
bodying up Siakam yesterday, and I was like pretty surprised. Siakam had a shit game. I think he had 13 points on 5 of 6 shooting, and then Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart locked him up the whole time.
But we'll have to see if that continues.
I'm just saying, like, if Siakam's not playing well, like, they're not gonna win. Like,
No.
I would think, like, he's the number one guy to me. Like, I don't know. From my perspective, everyone loves Lowry. I didn't see Lowry's stat line last night, but it wasn't great.
It's also, he was kind of hurt though too. You got to give him a game or so.
Yeah.
Hopefully he heals up.
Yeah, I just think looking forward. Do you think the Raptors take the series still, or what do you guys? Because we both said Raptors win the series before Game 1.
I think in 7.
You think in 7?
Yeah.
Because I think looking at the first game and the way the regular season games went, there's no way it's going to be a 5-6 gamer.
No.
It's going to go all the way to the wire.
Yeah.
Because like that Kawhi shot game against the Sixers, that went deep too. Like
Yeah.
that was not even.
That was game 6, right?
Yeah, but they all go like, we're not going to see a game. We're not going to see a 5-game series here. We're going to see 6+, and I think that's what the NBA wants. Like this is a great series, right? And I think that's ultimately what is going to happen. But we'll see. I definitely think the Raptors bounce back in Game 2 though, because they shot, as I said, they shot 25% from three. They let the Celtics shot like 40-something%. Like that's just never going to be sustained especially with a team like the Raptors who plays hard D like that. So. We'll see. I think Kemba has a knee injury too, though. He got injured in Game 1 last night, so he's looking out. He only had 18 points. He played limited minutes. So, do you know the status of Lowry's update? I didn't see much about it.
I haven't seen anything recently. No.
Yeah, nothing recently.
Yeah. So he got injured in the first series.
Yeah.
Or was it game? Do you remember what game it was?
It was the last game. I thought.
Yeah, last game of the
So he's
series.
still okay. So he's definitely still dealing with it. They said Kemba was questionable for Game 2. He's obviously going to play.
Yeah.
We know that, but he only had 18 minutes on really limited minutes. 18 points on limited minutes. So I don't know. We'll see how that plays out. That's a big factor, right?
Yeah.
So both the point guards are injured, kind of, but I think the Raptors bounce back in this one. Moving on, let's talk Jazz versus Nuggets. This might be the best series in the playoffs right now. Like, you've watched Jamal Murray, Pride of Kitchener, Ontario. We love that. Another Canadian boy. They were down 3-1, the Nuggets. And then Jamal Murray, I mean, I didn't watch a ton of Jamal Murray this year. I knew he's a rising star in the league. They got Jokic too, but he's like the man right now. He's the most talked about guy in the playoffs, him and Donovan, and they're facing off in round 1. Like, what do you guys think about that? Like, have you guys been watching?
Yeah, it's a great matchup between those two just going at it. And you see Donovan was rattled after they lost yesterday. He put up 44 points himself, and he's like throwing chairs after the game. I mean, someone's got to help him.
Jamal Murray, it says right here, he had 50 last night, and Donovan had 44, like you said. They're two of the 4 players to ever have multiple 50-game performances in a playoff series.
Wow.
And they did it in the same fucking series. Like, if that's not like great basketball, I don't know what it is. I know the defense, they don't play as much defense in the current NBA like they used to, but it's crazy, man. These guys are ballers, and I think Jamal Murray is way better. I mean, I knew he was a rising star, but he is like the man in Denver right now.
Yeah, he's looking good. He was good in Kentucky too, but now he's got better ball handling. I think he gets the rack a little bit more, but he can still shoot the lights out.
Oh, for sure. And I think, after losing the last 3, Donovan Mitchell, what else can he do, man? Like, he's scoring 44. Like, he needs some help around him, right? It's going to be interesting to see because it's hard to bounce back after losing 3 straight.
Yeah.
Like, they were up 3-1. One game to put away. Like, the Jazz lost first round last year too. Like, are they cursed, or is it just like they don't have the talent to get what it takes? I think it's more that I don't know. Like, how do you not put a game away? Like, if they don't put Game 7 away, this might be the worst like letdown for their franchise that they've ever had. Honestly.
Yeah, I had Nuggets winning in 7.
Did you have them in 7?
Yeah, I had them 7.
I had the Nuggets winning. I thought it'd be like a 5-gamer. I honestly did. Just thinking. I mean, what is the Nuggets 3 seed, right?
Yeah.
3 versus 6. Like, the Jazz are a 6 seed. I know it's pretty much Donovan Mitchell carrying a squad, but they got Conley back after the baby. He got back in the bubble. They have Ingles. They have some good shooters, and Gobert's been playing well too.
Yeah,
but
he has been playing well.
the Nuggets, they're deep too. They got Jeremy Grant. They got Jokic, who's been playing well, and obviously Murray. So I think the Nuggets take the series. They play the Clippers versus the Lakers, and then the Nuggets play the. Do we know? I have it pulled right here. The Nuggets would play the winner of the Rockets and Thunder.
That'd be a good series.
That's going to be, and that's 3-2 Houston. They play tonight. So that series, that's another one. What do you guys think? Have you guys watched that series at all this year?
Yeah, I've watched a little bit. The Rockets, they look like a threat to pose.
I think the Rockets
shit on the Thunder.
Saturday. The Thunder were like going into the bubble. Like the Thunder, everyone was on Chris Paul. Like he turned that, like he made it into a winning organization. Yeah. I mean, they had some playoff history before, but no one really gave them a real shot against the Rockets, right? I definitely didn't. I had Houston in 5, and they're on Game 6 now with a 3-2 lead. But I ultimately think the Rockets get that one done. Do you guys agree?
Yeah,
agreed.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know, Harden, they got Westbrook back now too, which is huge, but it's going to be cool. I mean, Clippers, Lakers in the semis, and then we're going to see I think Denver goes and I think Rockets go. I think that would be a sick, semis to see who goes. I wish, though, the Lakers and Clippers would have faced off in the Western Finals.
Yeah,
I think that would have been better. But we're going to see. Oh, wait.
Yeah, I thought it was the...
it is, yeah. I'm right. Every time I do my brackets, it does the highest seed. So the Lakers wouldn't face the Clippers till the finals.
They face
the winner of the Houston OKC, and then Clippers face the winner of Denver, Utah. So I guess ultimately, I think that we'll see the Lakers, Clippers in the Western. The Clippers are like the most hated team in the league right now with all this Marcus Morris. We talked about that. He was tweeting, and then Beverly's trolling now with all that stuff. Like,
yeah,
they're just an interesting team. So there's that series. If we get to see it, will be unbelievable. I want to talk Miami versus Bucks quickly. Heat are hot going into the series. Mm-hmm. They swept the first round. The Bucks took an L game 1 and bounced back. What do we think today? Do we think Miami as a plus? I know that was was that your pick of the day, Avery, on Twitter? So Avery, another thing. So his first day has been crazy. He was not only the pick of the day on our social accounts, he was also on the podcast. So tell us why you like the Heat tonight.
The Heat are the best 3-point shooting team left in the bubble, and the Bucks gave up the most threes in the whole league. So I think it's pretty. They're hot right now. Pretty easy pick, and hopefully I get some money out of that one.
So did you not take them straight up? You like the points here?
I like the points. I think even if they lose, it's gonna be close.
Mm-hmm. I think watching the Bucks in the first round, they were getting down early, so like I could see like having those 5.5 points in your favor is like huge, right? Because as you said, I don't think it's gonna be a blowout. I think if the Bucks win, it's gonna be a tight one.
Yeah,
it would be cool to see Miami win and put some pressure on them. It's definitely possible, but I like that spot too. Did you bet that game today?
Yeah, I did the spread as well.
Mm-hmm. I have not bet that game, but I think I'm gonna hop on, ride the pick of the day. Mm-hmm. We are. What are we now? 9-1.
Yeah, 9-1.
When we started this little pick of the day thing on Twitter, I would be shocked if you would have told me, foreshadowed me to 9-1. Our only losing pick being JB, that poor guy.
Yeah,
I mean, he's our head status updater. Yeah. Unfortunately, we took the L there, but it had to happen eventually. I think that took the pressure off the boys. Yeah, we all now we're taking deep breaths. We're good to go. But if we win today, 10-1.
10-1. Wow.
I don't bet a lot. Is that pretty good though?
You're just printing money at this point,
dude. I'm not. And the thing is, I'm ignorant. I keep betting against our picks, and I keep losing. I bet the Bruins play tonight, and if I bet the Bruins again, that will be my 4th game in a row. If they lose, that'll be my 4th L, and I'm dying on this hill. I'm doing it again tonight. I'm taking the B's, but I got to start betting with Ownersbox. If you like money, we're doing it right over here. Is all I gotta say.
We're making someone rich, someone who's
someone's following. Hey, we get decent engagement on the picks, so we're hoping that some people actually tail them. I mean, we like to win in a crowd, so we're glad to provide our additional services for you guys. But back to the Miami Bucks series, long term end of series. Who do you think takes it?
I like the Heat. And,
that's a hot take, Eddie.
That's a very hot.
That might be.
I said the Heat on the first episode we talked.
No, to your credit, I remember. Yeah, you, and that was when they were what? It was a few games into the series, not even right in the first series.
It was a couple of games, and I said I like the Heat, and I think the Bucks haven't looked very good,
which they haven't. They actually haven't.
I think the Heat take it in 6.
Heat in 6. All right, Eddie. I'm gonna write that down. We're gonna
not even 7, 6.
Heat in 6. Hot take of the day by Jeremy. What about you, Avery? What do you think?
Bucks in 6.
Bucks in 6.
Have to. They were too good in the regular season. Kind of got let down spot last year, losing to the Raps. I think they got it. They got to get back to the conference finals at least.
So I think the Bucks win tonight, but I think the Heat cover. I think it's gonna be a close one. I think the Bucks win in 7 games in this series. That's my take. And that's not a hot take at all. I think the Heat are going to give them a tough series. And I don't think there's many, like I was reading online today on Twitter, I was reading some stuff. There's not many people thinking it's going to be a blowout series. Like Jimmy Butler is playing unbelievable. Like Duncan Robinson, said 3-point shooting.
Yeah.
That guy I played D3 football in the NESCAC, which is like literally the smallest New England conference. Duncan Robinson went to one of our rival schools and played in that conference and like broke every single scoring 3-point shooting record in our league. And then he transferred to Michigan and obviously blew up from there. But it's funny, Jimmy Butler posted a picture on Twitter like, this dude can shoot. And he was like in his D3, it was like literally his Williams jersey. Like there might have been like 15 people in the crowd and like he shouted him out. So it was a great post. But I think that team is a lot better than I projected at the beginning of the year.
They're young too. They're pretty
young.
young.
They're young. And you know,
Bio there. They have Tyler Hero.
Yeah. They're a different team than we saw last year, and they were good. I mean, they're always in the playoffs, right? Yeah. For the most part. So I think it's gonna be a great series. I'm excited to watch it for sure. Let's talk about my favorite series. What did I write here? I wrote Lakers versus Clippers. We already really talked about that, but hold on one second. Got to edit my notes here since I, crunched these numbers before, and I was looking at a completely different bracket.
Math wizard.
Definitely not a math wizard, but so we said Rockets win. So the Lakers face the Rockets right now. Russell Westbrook, Harden versus AD and LeBron. Mm-hmm. Who do you think takes that series if that was to happen?
I want to say the Rockets, but they got no defense, so I'm gonna go Lakers. So if they played I think if they played
who's the better match? Like I think honestly, the play style of the Rockets would be good against the Lakers. We don't defend the wings very well. Like Lillard went crazy. Like our point guards and our shooting guards don't defend as well because we don't have Avery Bradley. We're getting Rondo back, which is big, but it's going to be interesting to see. I think the Rockets would be good against us because they're going to run the ball. They're going to run the floor. We always have a 7-footer on the floor at all times.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. The rebounding is going to be what gives the Lakers the upper hand in that. Obviously, 3-point shooting, you're getting more points from 3. But if you're missing all your shots and you're rebounding them over smaller guys,
I just think with Russ and Harden at the 1-2 pretty much, like we don't have you're gonna have to see LeBron's gonna have to guard Harden. Like that's just what it's gonna be. Yeah. But Russ is gonna have a big if he plays well, that's gonna be it's gonna be the biggest mismatch for the Lakers, right? I just think he's too athletic. We don't have a guy like Avery Bradley would have probably guarded Russell Westbrook in this series just because he's an all-around defender. But I don't know. I just think there's a lot of question marks. I'm leaning Lakers. I think they take them there, but ideally it's not gonna be a breeze for them. Like Portland everyone said they were the best 8 seed. What do you guys think about that? I think that's the fakest news I've heard. Like
Dame was just fun to watch, so people just said they were a great team.
There was a Twitter video, it was like they put together a compilation of the last 2 weeks of every single analyst that said best 8 seed ever, Lakers or Portland in 6, like all this funny shit. And they put in like a 2-minute mashup, and it was like Stephen A, like Max Kellerman, like Colin Cowherd, all the biggest guys just being completely wrong. But I didn't think Portland was as good as everyone said. After game 1, I'm not going to lie, Jeff Sen, our UI designer, picked them straight up. He picked their money line at plus, what were the odds? Like plus 240?
Plus 240.
Like
plus
that's on, and that was the only game they won, funny enough. Yeah. So it was just a whole thing here. So I was actually legitimately kind of concerned. And people were saying, that was when everyone started saying best 8 seed, they have a legitimate chance. And then LeBron just, averaged a triple-double in the whole series. So playoff bronze here. I think we're going to see the Lakers I don't think they'll breeze through any series though. I think that's blown under the water. I think 5 games against Portland is the shortest they'll do. But I think the Rockets, it's going to be a good matchup nonetheless if they meet in the next round. So we'll see there. I do want to talk about the Clippers and everything going on with them though lately. Let's talk Paul George first, aka Pandemic P. Have you heard about that nickname?
Oh, I have.
So they've been calling him Pandemic P because he's been in the bubble just playing absolute
he's
trash.
Not playoff P anymore.
And then he went off. Yeah, he's been playing like crazy. He's playing like he's expected to play, right?
Yeah.
So how do we think, does he come back to life? Is this going to be bad news? The worst time possible, they're going to face the winner of the Jazz Nuggets. If he's full strength, I think the Clippers do away. I don't think the Jazz or the Nuggets can face with the Clippers, personally.
Yeah, I don't think either of those teams are deep enough, really, with the Clippers, how they've been playing. They're banging bodies down there. The other teams are high-flying offenses. I think that the Clippers have the upper hand in any series. But he's going to have to play well. He's been struggling every playoffs, it seems recently, even OKC. So
yeah, they're gonna he got Dame Lillard sent him out of Oklahoma City with that game winner last year, right? So he doesn't have the best track record in the playoffs, but I do think Like, I don't know. Something about the Rockets, like, I think they're a better opponent than either Denver or Utah. Like, I think they're just all around better. So, even though they're not as high of a seed as Denver is, I think Denver as a 3 seed is interesting because I don't know what it is. They definitely had a better record, but Houston had injuries, so that's why they were lower. But I'm more worried as a Lakers fan than for playing Houston than I would be of Denver or Jazz, though. Just saying that now. But looking at the Clippers, they are like the most hated team in the bubble right now.
Yeah.
Like, we talked to Marcus Morris. That was like, do you see the beef he commented on? Luka said he was interviewed after they lost last night, and he was like, I didn't think it was on purpose, like the step on the heel thing. He's like, I didn't think it was on purpose at first, but after that foul, did you see him get hacked last night?
Yeah.
Like, just bodying. He literally got bodied, and he was like, yeah, I think it was on purpose now. Like, I don't want to talk about that situation. And then Marcus Morris said, like, cry. Literally in the comment of like the ESPN post, he's like, cry, like Clippers in 6 or something. Like, literally some shit some like internet troll would say on Twitter, right? So I think that, with the Pat Bev thing, did you hear the news of him saying like, we pay your salary?
Yeah, I saw that.
Everyone said it was like I heard it was like fake news, but like I didn't know. There's been so much drama coming out of the NBA with all this stuff, so you never know what to believe. But the Clippers have this stigma about them, like they're just taunt the other team, like all this stuff. I think, people want to beat them more than any other team in the playoffs, right? So you never know. The team like a Jazz or the Nuggets could just show up and be like, fuck these guys. Like, we're going to just run them, like give them a good series, right? But ultimately, I think we'll see Lakers versus Clippers.
They're taking that bad boys Pistons strategy of the like when they were playing the Bulls back in the day. Like, just everyone wants to beat them so badly that they kind of go outside what they want to do, and maybe that'll help them out.
I think that kind of having that kind of bad boy mentality actually benefits the team that has it.
Yeah.
Like, the Lakers are always getting shit on for not having like the gritty, like LeBron's like the prima donna personality. But like, I don't know if you've been watching. I've watched every single game, and he looks locked in. Like, people are about to eat their words about LeBron because we all know that people show up. He always shows up for the playoffs, no matter what it is. Like, he might take the end of the season off. They're already like locked down the seed, right? So he gets shade there, but. He's gonna have to show up against that team if they meet in the Western Finals. Like, that's a gritty squad. So that would be the series of the playoffs. I think though.
Sure.
I think the Raptors and for the East, I think the Raptors make it out of the series. Raptors Bucks would be crazy too. That would be crazy, but we'll see. I don't know. Looking at the schedules right now, we have the Heat and the Bucks at 6:30 tonight. You said you guys both have +5.5 tonight?
Yeah.
I think I might hop on that. And then, is that there's only one game today?
No, Rockets. Rockets are tonight.
Oh, Rockets Thunder. Did you guys take a bet in that?
Yeah, Rockets 5.5.
Are they
Minus
favorite?
5.5.
Yeah. What would you take?
I didn't take it that game. I didn't take anything.
I like the Rockets tonight. As I said, I like them to win it. Why does it say Game 7 if they're only up 3-2? Google's blowing this right now. Yeah. But, I like the Rockets tonight. I don't know about 5.5. I feel like it could go either way. I like money line. I would maybe do a money line parlay with the Bucks and the Rockets. That would be kind of interesting to me. But nonetheless, we have a great slate of NBA games today. We have a lot of activity in the office with NFL coming up. So stay tuned. We're going to have a ton of more content coming around NFL. We'll be doing some draft reviews. We'll show you guys inside strategy, how to kill your drafts on our platform, and all that good stuff surrounding NFL. So stay tuned on that. Avery, it was a pleasure having you on today.
Appreciate that.
Look out for these two interns joining us on more featured episodes. We'll see you guys later.